You're listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, featuring senior retail executives and experts in the global convenience and mobility industry. Welcome to the Future of Convenience podcast. I'm Carolyn Schnare, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dan Munford. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, Carolyn. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you. So today we're revisiting with a Danish retailer that has modernized the concept of food on demand and convenience. With a little more than a year since the last time we talked with Q8, we're excited to hear how everything's been going for them. Before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to talk about one of our sponsors, Noah's. You're losing food sales to restaurants and delivery apps, but Noah's flips the script. They install high-quality food units inside your store. No chefs, no extra staff, no major investment. Just proven tech, smart kitchens, and digital brands people actually want. Noah's connects your store to delivery platforms, your own app, self-service kiosks, even TikTok if you want. It's plug and play, and it works. Noah's, where convenience competes with restaurants. Learn more at noahs.global. So Dan, you know our guest really well. So I'm going to kick it over to you to introduce our guest from Q8. Tell us who we have on the show today.
Well, in a minute, we're going to be talking to Martin Stilloff, Strategy Innovation Food Manager at Q8. I know Martin for a long time. I think he's probably one of the most significant people in the European industry at the moment, actually, in terms of what he's working on. But just stepping back for a bit, this story today is about Q8 plus Noah's. It's about that partnership. Noah's are on a mission to turn every service station into a digital food marketplace. It's what they call, it's what the founder, Daniel Baven, calls the Spotify of food. Good word.
Mm-hmm.
And what that's doing is they're plugging digitized modular smart kitchens into retailers in this case like Q8, and giving those retailers direct access to, I guess, what we can call the emerging digital food economy. So this is quite significant, and I've been a big fan of this and what Martin's been doing since the early days. And so delighted to have this chance of catching up with Martin. Martin, great to see you again, and looking forward to finding out what you've been up to, really.
Yeah, and thank you for that I can be here again. Like Carolyn also said in the beginning, that almost a year ago that I've been on. So very excited to be here again.
September 2024. I'll put that link in the show notes as well. So go ahead and check it out after you guys finish listening to this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe just to start us off, Martin, give us a summary of where it all started. Let's just roll the clock back for a minute and just think about where it all started and where this partnership has got to now. Just a bit of a sort of update on that.
Yeah, I think it's almost around 2 years ago, the first time I actually met Daniel, and me and Daniel were starting discussion how they were looking at all the industries, how they wanted to go into food in all industries, how to put all stores in Denmark online with food, and I was excited. I really liked the idea that he presented to me, and then we started to discuss from there, and we started up with one station where we built a multi-kitchen in Rødovre in one side, got a lot of learnings from there. And then maybe after 3 more months, then we put every station we have in Denmark online. So right now we have 88 stores online with our Q8 stores. And 3 months after that, then we put a dark kitchen concept into it, which is called Ella Pizza. And after 4 more months, then we have 88 stores online with pizza. So right now we are the biggest pizza chain in Denmark in number of stores, and we also try to get some market numbers into if we are in revenue. But I think we are close to it in revenue also.
I've got to stop you there, Martin, because hang on a minute. So you're the biggest pizza brand in Denmark.
Yeah, we are the biggest pizza chain in Denmark with number of stores with a concept called Ella Pizza. So we actually put this module that we built together with Noah's into all of our 88 stores. And the quite amazing thing about it is that we are using the kitchen equipment that we have today on the stations, and we also use the staff that we actually also have today in the stores. Because what we figured out were that the evening sales on all gas stations all around the world on food is not very big. So we needed to scale up our evening sales at the evening. And that was we saw Ella Pizza, the concept that we could put that in as a module and then raise the food sales and use the staff that were there and the equipment that there is on the stations even better in the future.
So Martin, I'm very familiar with what you've done in the first two sites, the first site and the Corsair site, and that was a full modular multi-brand kitchen that you put in there. What does Ella Pizza look like? Because obviously that's something you've rolled out much more widely across the market. What does the kitchen area look like there?
Yeah, like the good thing about the Ella Pizza module is that it's actually things that we have today at the station. So we have today a station where we prep our sandwich through the day, but that station is actually only used in the morning hours where they prep the sandwiches for the day. And then afterwards, then we change that sandwich station into a pizza station, where in the freezer we have the pizza bottoms, and then in the top we have all the toppings. So they take out the bottom from the freezer, put it up on the desk, and then they put all the toppings on, and then they use the Mary chef for it. And then 3 minutes after, then you have a fresh baked pizza that's ready to go with the delivery guys. So that's actually how we done it. So we haven't put any capex into this. We just figured out how to manage and how to use our equipment more throughout the day that we already have at the stations.
No, very, very interesting. And of course, this Ella Pizza is accessible online through and on a touchscreen kiosk in the store as well.
Yes, exactly. So in store, then we have the digital screens behind the counter where we flash the Ella Pizza brand. So it is like that we could put any other fast food chain that's worldwide known, that we also actually, you should imagine that we just put that into the shop, but this is just our own brand that we built. So we could have done this with Pizza Hut or somebody else around the world, but we just decided to do it our own brand and made launch it like our own brand. But in the future, it could be like well-known brands from around the world that could hop into a Q8 station. So that's the term Spotify food, where that comes from. That we could actually take more brands into the shops in the future.
It's really cool. It's so neat to hear. It's almost like, I don't know, Legos, if you will, like the toy for kids, where you can just kind of, you have the capabilities of just moving things around and creating something new, just kind of inserting a different piece, in this case a different brand. So do you have any new brands in the future that you're thinking of rolling out in 2026?
Yeah, like what we're looking into right now with my team and with Noah's is that we are looking into how to optimize our space and our equipment even more. So how can we put even more brands into the same equipment that we have, and then sell even more at the evening, and maybe also even more throughout the day. So what we are looking at right now is that we are creating a salad brand which is called Miko Salad, which is a Japanese name that we are trying to take in, because the salad bowls that we want to make is poke balls. So you should imagine again that the Pokeballs are coming from our supplier with all the salads into it, and then when the customer are ordering, then we are topping it off with chicken or different types of sausage, sesame seeds. Like, so we are trying to make the same salad experience, but we are trying to make it more efficient. So it's just for the staff to top it off like a pizza.
Oh, cool.
So that's the thought about it, that you get the bottom where there is pizza sauce on from the pizza, but on the salad bowl then you get the salad bowl with all the salads in, and then you just need to top it off with toppings afterwards. So the thought of it is to even more extend this into different brands, and also to segment our network in the future. Right now all 88 stores have pizza, but maybe the salad brand, there is maybe only 20 stations that should have the salad brand, and then 60 that should have the fried chicken brand in the future if we are developing that. So that's how we are trying to look more into it, because the data that we have around the Vault and Just Eat and all the other aggregators in this market it's very huge, the data mass that they have. So they can tell us which areas you can sell more of which type of cuisine. So in that way, we can actually maybe in the future segment our network even more to what sells in which area, and develop concepts into that area.
So it's very interesting, I think, how you're able to scale it up, in a natural way, depending on and I guess carefully, to make sure it's working, and you're not going full multi brands in every site overnight, which would be really, really difficult to pull off, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and that's also what we learned from the two first sites with Rødovre and Korsør is that's our innovations hub. Like we need them to innovate different types of cuisine. We need to see how difficult is it to operate these brands, and how difficult is it to operate more brands into it, and where's the limit of brands that we can handle into our current staff. So we use them as an innovation hub to that. Um, so we really try to use the stations that we have even better in the future. That's how you should look at it, and how to optimize the customers flow in the evening time.
I
And
think I think optimize is the word. Just one other question based upon what you're explaining Q8 have done in the market. I suppose the other thing you've done, which I think is interesting and significant, is you've been able to, working with Nose, you've been able to digitize all of your products, haven't you?
yes, and that was the beginning of what we started with. That we started, to put all our 88 stores online with our normal kiosks assortment. So you can find on all the aggregators there is in Denmark, which is Wall, Just Eat, and next year Uber Eats are coming to Denmark. Then you can open up, search for a kiosk and or convenience shops, and then Create will come up, and we can deliver your chips, your sodas, your energy drinks, your cigarettes, everything from our normal shops. We can deliver that from our own channel, which is Create, and that's also brought up a lot of new revenue. And we see this, the more that we start to learn about this business, is that we see this as a subscription based business. That the more customers you get in and they get a good experience, then you will have them a lot of times afterwards, and we get all of that data. So it's also a good business for us to calculate on, because we can see if we get one customers, how many times are the customer coming back, and then that's almost a subscription base. Then the customer are falling out, and then we need to pull the customer in again, and then they will be there sometimes again. And that's actually what we see on the convenience store, is that we are trying to really develop that in the future. um,
That's incredible. I mean, you've got the loyalty part. You're following that, but also it's beyond the engagement too. It's really just digging in and making sure probably that there's a personalized offer for those people, but there's more than that. There you're really you're showing the customer how important it is to continue to come back, to get that retention, to get them back in the store. And doing it digitally is brilliant, and the subscription model is something that's been catching on around the world. So, are you seeing that you guys internally are using that data more and more to mine? I guess mine, maybe not the right word here, and it is to really dig in and find out what each customer is doing, what their journey is, and then how to map that out for them so that you make sure you give them the very best offer they want.
Yeah, exactly, Carolyn. That's one of the things that we are still trying to learn a lot about. So it's also, a totally new business. This one with the online and the aggregator sales and that. So it's also something that we try to put more into the whole retail team, is how to work with this, how to optimize this, how do we want to buy more visibility on the platforms? What does that do for our business? How, if we buy ads that we come up first when you search on this specific name or cigarettes or something, what does that do for our basket and our margins? So in general, it's a teamwork between me and the category team and the marketing team, how to optimize this in the future, and then be
Mhm.
even better to use the platforms in the future. And that's where it gets very interesting, and something that we will in Create in Denmark will learn even more about in the next coming year, is to optimize that and how to get the most margins out of each aggregator.
Mhm.
um, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. in the next year.
I mean, in many ways, you become a new kind of business. You're still doing all the things that you've always done well, but you're adding this food business, this digital savvy business, if you like, on
Yes.
top of that, aren't you? And you're becoming increasingly sophisticated. Um, how does it feel from a Q8 Denmark point of view in the Q8 Denmark team? How does it feel to be a trailblazer in this space, Martin? You must be the team must be quite pleased with the attention they're getting internationally.
Yeah, like we really like, to inspire the industry and all in all, because I really like. I also think I said this a year ago actually, but now I'm not quite sure. So maybe somebody will listen and say you didn't. But I think I said last year also that um, I really believe that we as an industry, if everybody walks in the same direction and we can be the front runner and push people forward, I think that everybody will earn even more in the future. I also think that everybody will get more revenue because it will be more well known by people that you can use online channels to get your convenient stuff at home. So I really think that we as an industry need to go forward here. We think to take this step before the supermarkets are going into this. So I really think that we as an industry need to be front runners on this, and we would like to inspire other people. We also like to have good talks with other people about this in the industry and inspire each other about how to optimize this space.
I'm obviously going to highly agree with that. I guess the phrase that keeps being used, and it's not me who's used it first, but I've stolen it a little bit. Is a rising tide floats all boats, and to make your point really well, I think if you look at the Irish market and look how that's transformed itself in 20 years, so that the consumer now is really disappointed if they don't get a fantastic fresh offer in every forecourt. I mean,
Yes.
that's interesting, isn't it? And you can see, I think you're right about you. In a way, you want your competitors to also have high standards and great products. And there is a big because it helps everybody, but there is a big competitive reaction, I guess, in the Danish market. There has to be, isn't there, to your success?
Yeah, exactly. We get a lot of attention also in Denmark, but also, like you said, internationally, or what we are doing together with NOAS, and that's very great. And like I also said, I like that we are inspiring people, but like for me, it's inevitable that everybody will look in this direction. So for us, like how we look at it is that um, we are sharing a lot of information, but like I see it is that we also have a head start. Even when this podcast are coming out, then somebody will think, okay, right, they are already at the new concept. Can we catch up? But the head start that I have right now is that I know how the market are working. I'm getting more and more insight because we are actually we are doing it. Like we have 88 pizza stores, so we get all the data, we get all the operations problems, we get how to fix that. So for me, like every brand that's out there in the world should start up with this, get the head start before your competitors, because in 1 2 years then everybody will be there and everybody will compete on this market. Everybody will try to make their own pizza brand. Maybe they will collaborate with other pizza brands or other salad brands. But in the future, everybody will be there. I'm 100% sure that everybody will be there in 1 2 years, and that's how we look at the market. Is that we need to get the head start, but we need everybody to follow along, because when everybody are following along, then the market will be bigger, and we hopefully will get our piece of the market.
Well, very, 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 very wise words. Just thinking about Q8 in other markets, there's stuff happening there as well, isn't there? In this respect.
Yes, we um, we launched in Belgium now with Sarah and Lotter and their team down there, and that's a story for them to tell. I think like they've done an amazing job down there, and they are developing a lot on it. And I think they just launched on a couple stores now. So we are seeing, yeah, I think there will also be a rapid growth there because we share results internally. So I think everybody will see a quite rapid growth down there on
And
online sales.
Well, that's happening in Belgium. I also know that things are happening in Ireland with Maxwell and Noah. So it's
Yeah.
again, it's becoming multiple This is going across multiple markets now, which is exciting to see. Thinking about the new retail concept coming. What's what do you think? What's coming down the line as far as you're concerned?
Like I think, like, if you look at it in another perspective, is that, a lot of brands in Denmark are not covering the whole of Denmark. Like, let's say they're covering 40% of Denmark with their brand. Like, that could be a beauty brand or something like that that's covering 40% of Denmark. Let's say that we could be the stock for that brand and launch them online with a dark store. So we will launch L'Oreal, let's say that, on all our stores. Then we are the stock and the delivery hub for L'Oreal. That's something that I think there will be more in the future. That you are putting things that are other brands' stuff on your stock, and you're just a dark store delivering the tech, and you're delivering that we are packing the orders when it's coming. So we will be more like a hub for different brands that delivering out in the future. I really think that we will go there. I think it will take some time for brands to realize this, but it's a way that brands can go directly to the consumer and not through a lot of different stores and where they don't own their own brand. Here they can own that their own channel. They can deliver to the customer between 15 to 30 minutes in 75% of Denmark with us as a partner. So that's something that we need to look more into in the future. But how to do it, I'm not 100% sure yet. But that's one of the key factors that we need to look more into in 26.
Well, absolutely. And I suppose just going back to your earlier point about getting this head start. Getting this head start means that you start learning about these new aspects of business, food convenience and digital, ahead of everybody else, which means that you can be quite open-minded and you can think, well, actually, there's an opportunity here we haven't even considered, but we can now take advantage of it because we're aware of how things are happening, and we can see the way the future market is going. And then obviously it's impossible for a competitor who's not also investing and also on this learning journey to have those ideas, isn't it? So I think you're adding a lot of capability in these new areas to your business, aren't you? And it's opening your eyes in terms of other opportunities, particularly around the digital space, which is, as you've just expressed, is very interesting.
Yeah, like one of the things that I actually said to a management team is that you should try to imagine this, is that if you go to a football court and you um, have to kick to the ball the first time, and you want to make it, you know, directly into the goal, the best goal that you ever scored, the first time you're kicking to a ball, then you are delusional that if you think that's going to happen. So what I actually tried to explain is that, yeah, we will miss sometimes, we will do some different things that's not 100% correct, but we will learn in the next coming years. And the more we are kicking to the ball, the more we learn, the more goals we will score, but we will also miss. And that's actually how I believe that this business is. You have to see the business like that, that it's a totally new market that you have to learn internally. So we will make a lot of mistakes also the next coming years, and some of the business cases that I haven't thought about yet will arise, and then we will take that opportunity, and yeah, we will grow more from there.
Martin, your desire to continuously evaluate is refreshing. It's great. You got to fail, right? And that's what you said sometimes. But it's taking that fail, not necessarily failure. That's a big word, but taking that and evaluating and consistently going back and refreshing and doing whatever to make sure that it's perfect. But it might not be perfect. It might take a little while to get there. So I think that's just an incredibly wise way to operate. So cheers to that.
Thank you,
Yeah, well,
Carol.
Martin, we wish you luck. We're watching with interest. Congratulations again to the whole Danish team,
Mm-hmm.
and for being kind of so astute in seizing this advantage. And and moving forward, this has been a lot of work, hasn't it? You haven't exactly been you haven't exactly been slow in moving this forward, and it's involved a lot of change, and we're seeing this spread to other markets, and it's very exciting. So again, congratulations to you all, and thanks for joining us today, and look forward to my next trip I'll probably go to Belgium next, actually, or I'll certainly be in Dublin quite soon to see what Maxwell are up to, and to see the story continuing there.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for you, Dan, to go to Belgium. I think they will love your visit, and otherwise you can always come to Denmark. We love having you here. You know that.
Thank you, Martin.
Well, this has been fabulous. I think we learned a lot. Listeners, go back and listen to this from a year ago as well and just see how far they continue to grow. And I look forward to continuing to have you on the show in another year and just hear where you're going from there. So, Martin, thank you so much for being on the show today. And listeners, thank you so much for listening to The Future of Convenience. Thank you for listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, produced by Dan Munford, Jenna Ferguson, and Lorraine Evans. It is produced and edited and mixed by Carolyn Schnare, and music is provided by Jukebox Music. Learn more at globalconvenience.com.